Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ice Cold Takes podcast. I'm your host, Joey DeMeglio, and the Rangers have now reached the All-Star break with a record of 27, 14, and 8, which puts them in third place in the Metropolitan Division. Pretty tight race amongst all the teams, right behind the Devils, 6 points behind the Devils, and then Carolina's in first place. But joining me today is Alexis Lafrenière superfan Carlie Brunengraber. Carlie,
Hi,
thanks for joining. How are you?
thank you for having me. I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. I know you were asking to come on for such a long time. You listen to the show, which is awesome. I love to see that. Love to hear that. But yeah, Alexis Lafrenière. I've tweeted that meme, the Laffy Taffy meme, so many times. It has to be like at least 100 times
That's
on
honestly how
Twitter.
I found you because I saw the meme and I thought it was funny.
Well, how that one started, like my old co-host, like he was really good at Photoshop, and on our Instagram we would make memes every now and then, and that was one of the things he made. Like before, I think last season, he drafted that up. He's like, "Yo, what do you think of this?" I'm like, "This is hilarious. Let's
That's
post
so
it."
funny.
And
I
so
love
I
it.
have it saved in my on my phone. So every time he scores a goal, it's just
I just
let's
see it
go
in the
back and
replies.
yeah, I'll post it on my own page, and I'll post it on like under like the Rangers account when they post like the video of Lafreniere scoring or the GIF of him like pointing at the camera or whatever.
Yeah, oh my God.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Laffy scoring. This is completely off topic, but I was supposed to be at the game when he pulled the between the legs goal. And because my cousins were here from North Carolina and they're huge fans and have never been to a game. And I said to my dad, I was like, we should go. And he and my uncle were going to buy tickets. And then at the last second, my aunt backed out of it. And then he scored 2 goals. And I was sitting right on my couch and I yelled at my dad. I said, this is your fault because I could have been, and I know that sounds very spoiled, but I was just so mad that I could have seen that and I didn't.
Yeah. That was right on after he got scratched. I
I
remember that.
know. And
I
then he
lost
got
my
scratched
mind.
on
I
my
was
birthday.
I was in my house watching on my computer because I don't have MSG because of Comcast stupid Xfinity. They
Yeah.
took away MSG from me, so I had to watch it on MSG Go, because I was living in Hoboken. But yeah, that was incredible. That would have been awesome to be there to see that.
My
Uh,
cousins were all staring at me like I was a crazy person because I was literally like falling off of my couch, like
yeah,
dying.
I was screaming. My mom was like, "What are you doing? What's going on?" I'm like, "Nothing, mom."
My mom's an Islander fan, so she's just sitting looking at me like, yes, I
what's
know,
what's
yes.
that all about?
So my parents have been married for almost 20 years. That's kind of off topic, but they met because my mom went to the same college as my dad's cousin, and they were sorority sisters. Like that's how they met. And then at my cousin's birthday party, my parents met and they started talking about hockey. And my dad was like, "Oh, she's like nice and cute and all, but she's an Islander fan," because they were talking about Zdeno Chara's contract. And he was like, "I'll make it work." And the rest is history. My mom did put me in an Islander jersey though when I was 3 months old and thinking that it would work. It did not work.
Good job.
And my
Good
sister's a
job.
Ranger fan too. So
Nice. There you go. It's
there we go.
always good to go to the hockey games. Like I went on Friday. I'll talk a little bit more about it later on in the episode. But I went to the game on Friday with Python, who is commenting here. Wowie and Warley, replacing the W's, of course. Yeah,
Brings me back to the food debate days.
the food debate days. That was last year.
That
Was that you guys
was.
with the waffles and
Yes,
pancakes?
and my biggest thing back then was I'm trying to find the picture of me in an Islander jersey. We got Molly and Vince involved in the food debate, and I have to
Oh,
say I was kind of disappointed when Vince said that he preferred, I think it was waffles over pancakes. Like I don't think this is what my mother did to me.
oh
My
my
I'll turn my
gosh!
brightness down. This is what my mother did to me.
Wow.
Uh-uh. She
That was the
insisted
last time you that was the first and last time
first
you
and
wore an
last
Islanders
time.
jersey.
It's okay. She insisted that I smiled on my own. I did not. I'm telling you right now, I could never.
I forget what I said on that waffles versus pancakes debate, but honestly, it kind of depends on what kind of waffles. Like if it's just an Eggo waffle, I'm gonna have pancakes. But if it's a Belgian waffle, I'm gonna have waffles.
I am a pancakes person over waffles, but I've changed my opinion a little bit. I think French toast trumps both of them.
Ooh, okay. Is that because of Lafreniere?
He likes French toast?
No, he's because
Oh,
he's French Canadian.
oh no.
His last name is
That
so
actually has
French
nothing to do with
Canadian.
it. I'm just a big French toast person.
Okay. Yeah.
I am
French
learning
toast is
French
great.
though. I'm doing an all-state for because I sang so I'm doing all-state auditions, and I'm singing a French song. This is the first time I've ever done French. I have wanted to learn French for years before I knew who Lafrenière was, because if they offered it still in my school, I would have been taking it in 7th grade, so I still would have been taking French. But because it's my last year, I was like, take French, do French, even though I take Italian. It's okay.
Oh yeah, I
Kind of
wish my
fun.
high school taught Italian because I'm Italian. I don't know any Italian. I know more
I'm
Spanish than I know
I'm an 8th
Italian.
Italian. I still don't know how to speak a full sentence. I cheat on all my speakings
Yeah.
because they teach you how to conjugate, not how to speak. So
Yeah, that's the big thing with languages in school. They need to teach you how to speak. Like, being years away from high school now, I realize, damn, they should have made us speak more of the language. Like the times I used to hate like going in front of the class and speaking in another language because
oh,
it's
yeah.
nerve-wracking, but that's how you learn.
Yeah,
That's how
especially
you
because I'm one of the I've always just had a brain for languages, so all the boys are like, "Oh my god, here we go," because they know I'm gonna do well, and they all try and cheat off of me.
Yeah.
No, don't do
They
that.
if they don't know how to conjugate something, like, "Yo, Carly, how do you do this?"
How do you do? God, can you send me the answers? Can you send me
Right,
the
yeah,
answers?
yeah. I remember those days.
No.
I remember those days.
Yay,
Um,
junior year.
yeah, um,
Not excited.
let me get back
Okay,
on the
we
the
got off
hockey
subject.
train, but, like, I mean, the banter is great. I mean, it's all fun in games and stuff, but, like, the
Yes.
love for Alexis Lafrenière, where does it come from? I've asked Snags this, and it all stemmed from the lottery, when the ball came up and it had that Rangers logo. Is yours, like, more the same thing, or did you like him before he was even a concept on a drawing board for the Rangers?
So my dad is a huge fan of hockey overall. He watches European leagues, the most random leagues you can find. Think of I don't know, the Icelandic third league. He's seen a game from there. He just watches all hockey.
The
And
Liga.
obviously World Junior, he knows about La Liga, like the Barcelona team, the hockey team. He's
Mhm.
insane. But World Juniors has always been a big thing for him because Team USA, Chris Kreider, Patrick Kane, they all came out of Team USA in the World Juniors. And that's a good way for him to look at our prospects from all the different, big hockey countries. So when the World Juniors came around and I saw Lafreniere, I know he didn't have a very good World Juniors in 2019. I think it was, yes, 2019. But I just kind of felt for him. I was like, he seems fun. Whenever he scored or got a point, he was always the first to jump on his teammates and celebrate. And I like this guy. He seems fun. And then World Juniors 2020, he just exploded. And then I remember it was against the USA, but when he scored and he took his jersey and started going like this with the
Mhm.
leaf on it, I was like, okay, I see the vision here. Because I don't want to just come out and be like, oh my God, he's so hot. But I was like, I see the vision here. And then, okay, I was asleep for the lottery. I did not know we had won the draft lottery. And my dad walks in the front door. He goes, I wake up because the noise woke me up. And he goes, Carly, did you hear the news? And I go, no, what are you talking about? And he goes, it's a great day to be a Ranger fan. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. I've been sleeping on the couch for the last 2 hours. And he goes, you seriously don't know? I was like, no, tell me. He goes, we won the lottery. We won the draft lottery. We're getting Alexis Lafrenière. And I look at him and I go, shut up. No, we're not. And he goes, yes, we are. And we went back and forth. No, we are. No, we aren't. Yes, we are. He goes, look online. So I open up Instagram. The first thing I see is we won the draft lottery. And I literally broke into tears crying. I was like, no, we did not. And I was jumping up and down. And my mother told me to stop because she was salty. She's crapo caco. I was like, you're just mad that you didn't get him.
The Rangers had gone, like, since the '60s without having, like,
Yeah.
a top, like,
And
a
I was
first
freaking
overall
out
or
that we
second
weren't gonna
overall
pick
pick.
him because I was like, Jeff Gorton's an idiot.
We
But
got we got like, we got to witness that as fans. Like, years from now, this could be, like, the last time in another 60 years that we'll ever see this.
probably.
And we'll get to hopefully everything pans out with Lafreniere. I'm really pulling for him. Like, years from now, we could say, like, we were there. We witnessed that. We witnessed
We
the
watched the
Rangers
draft.
getting the first overall pick.
I watched the draft because I made sure I was not asleep for the draft. And I sat there and I waited. And as soon as they said Alexis Lafreniere, I was like,
It's a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. Like
Yeah,
people say like, "Oh, he's not as good as they say he is." Like, he's not like a McDavid. Like no one was saying. Everyone knew what he was then. Like it's gonna
yeah.
take a little bit of time. You got to give him. Got to be patient. I think Chris Drury loves him. I think Chris Drury is in love with him. I think he's like a total like. That's the kind of
If
player
he's
he
a
wants.
laugh secret super fan, then maybe I don't hate Chris Drury as much as I say I do.
I'm a big fan of Chris Drury. Like I like grew up watching him. I grew up watching him.
Fair.
Like I caught the last 2 years when he was captain of the Rangers.
Yeah,
Callahan was always my favorite player, but
that was
Drury
my
was the
sister's
captain.
favorite. She
Callahan.
loves Callie.
We're getting him. We're gonna get him on the podcast eventually.
Like,
I don't care if
yeah,
it takes
I
90,
call him
100
Captain
days to
Callie.
get Callahan. We're gonna get him on here.
Captain Callie. I loved him.
Captain
I
Callahan.
think he was great. What's it called? My favorite player growing up, obviously besides Hank and Zuccarello, was Marian Gaborik. Marian
Yeah.
Gaborik was my first ever boyfriend.
Mm.
Like, because I was 4 when I went to my first Ranger game. It was November 14th, 2010, against the Oilers. And Marian Gaborik scored a hat trick in that game. And from that moment on, I was in love with him. Like, literally, I loved him. He's my first ever jersey. I still have it. And then when he got traded to the Blue Jackets, my dad told me, and I literally fell to my knees crying in the kitchen. And that is a true story. And I miss him so much.
Yeah, and then he tore us apart in the finals.
I don't
Python
want to talk about it.
I know, Python brings up a good point. The media tried to make us think they were gonna take Byfield. Yeah, I remember that.
I was so scared that
They were
were
saying, "Oh, the Rangers need a center." It makes sense for them to
They
take
need another
Byfield.
left wing.
Get the hell out of here. Take a center over Lafrenière.
Alexis
Lafrenière is wild.
Lafrenière.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
I
No.
was talking like that Gabrick trade. Someone was saying like name a sports trade that you did not see coming that you were completely shocked by, and I was like, I did not see Marion Gabrick
Gaborik
getting
trade.
traded. That completely threw me off guard.
I was too young to understand it at the time,
Yeah,
but I
no.
get it was like now that it's the business of sports, especially with the Zuccarello trade, because that one hit me hard too.
Oh my god.
Because it's
Like I saw that one coming. That was the difference. Like I knew that one was coming, and I was a bit older, so I was able to understand it.
yeah. I think
So
I was 12 when that happened, and I had just gotten a Matt Zuccarello Winter Classic jersey from either Hanukkah or my birthday. Like I had just gotten that jersey, and then he got traded, and I threw it down the stairs. And I'm very dramatic, as we can tell, and I threw it down the stairs. And I said, I don't need it anymore. And my parents were like, you're not getting rid of it. But I was just so sad. And then seeing Hank cry like that, like tore me apart. And then I knew the Hank buyout was coming, but you still don't expect it to hit you as hard
I
as it
know
did.
that one too. Like surprisingly, even though I'm older and I'm expecting it to happen, I kept
I
telling
knew it
myself
was
it's not gonna
coming.
happen. It's not gonna happen. They're not gonna do it. And he did. They
And they
did it,
did.
and I
And
was like,
I
I was
was
so
lucky enough though to
upset.
be at Hank night. I don't care that I was in like the back of the 400s and like half the thing was like blocked by like the chase like seating with all the TVs and stuff. I was
Okay.
there. I watched it happen. Like I don't care. Like that was like the best thing ever.
Funny
But
thing funny thing about Henrik, like when I went to the game on Friday, we were like by the blue seat section, so like you could see like the bridge where they walk into the studio where like Sam and Joe behind where Sam and Joe call the games from. And you just see first you see John Giannone running, like he looks like a little goon, like running with the suitcase trying to get in the studio. And then you see Hank walking all tall and proud with the suitcase, taking
he's
his time, like they were
he's
rushing to get in the
beautiful.
studio. And like Hank is so calm, cool, and collected. I'm like, look at this guy. Like, look how calm he is, even off the ice. Like this guy is incredible. Like, I don't
He's
know, it's just everything that guy does is just gold.
he's
Perfect.
amazing. And even my mother, who's the biggest Islander fan ever, loves Henrik Lundqvist.
Yeah.
Like how can you not love
Yeah.
Henrik Lundqvist?
I know, like my roommate from my freshman year in college is a big Capitals fan, and like he would always like he would talk about like how Lundqvist is he was like he's the king, like oh you guys have that guy, you guys have that guy, and
He's
like
not a Capital. I don't care what
oh
anyone
no
says.
he's not a
He never
Capital.
stepped. I don't care that he wore the practice jersey.
Nope.
He never touched the ice,
Nah.
and he's not a Capital. He is and will always be just a Ranger.
He never registered an official game of the Washington
He's a
Capitals.
Ranger. He's a
Yeah.
Ranger.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yeah, and it was good on them for retiring his number. For retiring his number immediately. Like they didn't wait. They wasted no time. As soon as he announced the retirement,
I
like
think he's
literally,
gonna resign for
we are
one
gonna
day.
retire his number.
He should have resigned for one day just so he could have
I
officially
know.
retired a Ranger.
Yeah, I know. They should have done they I think in other sports they allow you to do that, but possibly not in the NHL. I don't know why. I
Crazy.
don't know if that's real or not. I have to do some research into
I
that,
feel like
but
the Patriots would do that for Tom Brady. I'm not a big football person, but I just feel like because of what he did for New England that
mhm.
they would do that for him.
The thing
But
that pops into
yeah,
my head is like LaDainian Tomlinson used to play. He was a Charger for most of his career, and then he was on the Jets. But then he retired. But before he retired, he signed a 1-day contract
with the
with the
Chargers.
Chargers, and then
Yeah,
called it
that makes
quits.
sense.
Yeah.
But
So you say you retired as the team that you played
yeah,
on
for your
predominantly,
whole life.
but everybody knows Lundqvist is a Ranger,
Yeah.
only a
You
Ranger,
think Cameron Conquest, you think the Rangers.
right? Like Martin Brodeur
A
was on the
devil.
Blues. Yeah, he
I
got
don't
traded.
even half the time I don't remember he was on the Blues.
Right, exactly.
Until someone
10
tells me,
years
I'm like,
from now
"Oh,
10
yeah,
years
he
from now, we're
was."
gonna say, like, "Oh, yeah, Lundqvist was never on the Capitals." Like
Yeah, no. My favorite thing is I like to watch the bar down quizzes from time to time, and, like, when Corwin or Luca, wherever, they go, "Leafs legend," because they were there for, like, 2 days, and you're,
right.
"Oh, Leafs legend." That's yeah, Henrik Lundqvist, Capitals legend.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolute Capitals legend. But back to Lafreniere, I'm gonna plug my own podcast for a second.
Go
Me
ahead.
and my dad on because me and my dad have a podcast now called the Dad Daughter Duo Podcast. I don't even know where that name came up from. He just kind of pulled it out of nowhere. But we talked about, or he talked about, how we can't really blame Lafreniere for his struggles until after next season because this is technically his sophomore slump due to it being his second full season in the NHL because his first one was not only
Cut
shortened,
short.
he hadn't played hockey for 10 months before because of COVID. Coming back to the bubble with no fans and a shortened season really isn't a season at all. So his first real season was last year. This one is his second full season. So I'll consider this his sophomore slump, and then maybe he'll pick it up next year. If he doesn't pick it up after next year, by all means, do what you have to do with him. But also, I'm afraid that Montreal's going to offer sheet him because I saw it on Twitter, and now I'm terrified.
He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. The Rangers are gonna keep him for sure. Like,
They
and they
better
could
keep
I
him.
think they could hardball negotiate with him. So, like, Capo Caco, I
Got a
remember
bridge.
people were saying last year that, "Oh, he hasn't had the production, but he's still second overall pick, so he's gonna get, like, $2.5 million or $3 million on his next contract." And I was saying it has nothing to do with his draft pedigree. He's not producing the way he should be, so he's going to be getting less. And what did he
Yes,
get? He got
he got a bridge.
$2.1 million.
Yeah, he got a bridge, I
He
think.
got a bridge for 2 years, $2.1 million per, and that was less than what Heedle got, who is like, a 20 something overall pick. So, I'm thinking the same thing that Lafreniere is gonna get. I say, like, 2.3 for 2
That's
years. That's
okay.
what they're gonna extend him.
That's
They're
okay.
not
As
gonna give
long
him
as he's safe.
$4 million. They're not giving him 8 years because he hasn't offered, like he hasn't put up the Hughes points,
Yeah.
like Jack Hughes yet. Like, he's not there yet.
Speaking of that, why did they give Matt Boldy 7 by 7? He's barely a
No.
rookie.
I know, yeah,
That's
like,
it. That's I saw that and I was like, no way.
that's what they're
That's insane.
starting to do now around the league is they hand out these investment-like contracts, to see like, not you're not paying them for what they are right now, you're gonna pay them for
Oh, for what they will
what
be.
they will be. So, like, Matt Boldy, when they drafted him, he was like a highly touted prospect, like, he was a good prospect, like, teams wanted him. So, in a few years from now, he should be at the level that people thought he was gonna be,
Yeah.
if everything works out correctly, if
Yeah.
everything projects the way that it should be. Like,
Yeah.
same thing, Suzuki's the captain for the Canadians. They did the same thing with him, like, he had a really good year last year, but, like, before that, they signed him to, like, a bigger extension, and it was just like, "Wait, why are you giving him this money now? He hasn't put up that many points." And then
Yeah.
he did put up the points.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yes,
That makes sense.
the guys in the front office, they know what they're talking about, like, they may make some stupid decisions, but not every single move they make is boneheaded. It's not like
Yeah.
every single move Chris Drury makes is Pavel Buchnevich for Sammy Blais. That was a terrible trade, and, like,
Yeah,
it
I was working when it happened, and
yeah.
one of
Me
my
too, actually.
coworkers happened to be an Islander fan, and she goes, "Carly, did you see the trade?" I was like, "No. What are you talking about?" She goes, "Check Twitter," because like I was on Twitter, but like not really. And so I look, and it says the Rangers have traded Pavel Buchnevich for Sammy Blais and like a whatever it was second round
Second
pick,
round
and I
pick.
was like, no way. And just after they had posted that Igor and Pavel selfie, I was like, no, they did not. And then my mom picked me up because I was 15 and couldn't drive yet. And my mom picked me up and I just started crying in the car. This all leads to me crying because all my favorite players are leaving. But I liked Booch, but like I just didn't see it coming. And I think that was the surprise of it.
I don't think there was a single fan that disliked Pavel Buchnevich. Like
He
he
can't.
worked,
He's
he
one of those
worked,
people who can't
he
be
went through
disliked.
so much to get to the level he was at that last year. He was on the Rangers. Like that last season, he was on the Rangers. He's awesome. He
Yeah,
was like our best player, the best player on the team.
kept us in playoff races,
Yeah, yeah.
like in the wild
It
card.
wasn't. I remember when he first started. Like Alan Vigneault barely used him. Like he was scoring points, but he was barely used. Like
Yeah,
it
like
sucked.
Laffy.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It sucked. It sucked. I talked with Rob Luker about this. Like he said, he referenced a tweet like when he was on my show, like about a month or so ago, maybe a little bit longer, more, maybe a little while ago. He was saying like the day the NHL decides to play younger, but and potentially worse players than older and over the hill players is when things is going to start to pan out. Like
Gerard
with Lafreniere, yeah, I know. Like I'm all for like that you have to earn your role or whatever, but like
Yeah,
when it's clear the direction of your team is headed, to get younger, you have to see what the guys you have in front of you can do.
yeah,
Like what they did with Kako. They finally gave him top line ice time
and look what
and
happened.
and he's playing awesome. He's playing awesome. Like he's not getting as many points. Recently he has been. Like I
Kid
think it's
vibe.
yeah, but it's like
I'm a kid
15
vibe.
points in 21 games.
That's nuts.
Right. We haven't seen that kind of production from him. He's been
No.
playing well all season, and
Yeah.
Glant hasn't like shied away from complimenting him. Like he's giving high praise. Like he's playing great out there. And if he's doing that, that means he's doing something right. So you have to give somebody else too, like whether it's Heedle or if it's Lafreniere or even Kravtsov, let them play.
Let the kids play. That's like my whole theme of like, and then everyone gets so mad at me. Let the kids play. They need to learn, and you can't learn if you don't do.
I already know what's gonna happen with Kravtsov. They're gonna end up trading him, and he's gonna be great wherever he goes. Like he's
It's a
gonna be
typical Rangers move.
he's gonna be great because the Rangers didn't give him an opportunity
Yeah,
to
no.
like he's
Not,
playing well. I don't think he's playing horribly. And I
no.
certainly think he deserves a spot in the lineup over like
Sanders
Blay
won.
or Leshizin. Oh my god.
He almost scored at one of the games that I went at the Canadians game. Of course, they were in the Liberties, and of course, they lost because I'm terrible luck. But and me combined with the Liberties, obvious loss. But like he almost scored, and it was his first game as a Ranger, and I almost lost my mind. And then when Lafreniere shot it through the crease, because my section is 114, I was sitting like right there and I watched that. I was like, oh my God. Because one, he's never scored a point when in like the 3 or 4 times I've seen him play live, which sucks. And
Mhm.
two, I had a Canadians fan sitting next to me, just going on and on and on and on about how Lafreniere is going to be a Canadian. And then when the game was over, he's like, haha, we won. I was like, look at the back of my jersey. Look who's on my jersey. Look who's on my jersey. Right. He's on my jersey, not yours. And then he got scratched on my birthday.
I think the beef that I would have with Montreal fans is like it would be like the most fun like out of any team except for like the Flyers maybe. Like
Well, I have fun beefing with Islanders fans because a lot of my friends are Islander fans because I live on
the
Long Island. So a lot of my friends are Islanders fans, and I like to sit there and argue with them.
Islanders fans is like third on my list, but the beef I have with Montreal fans, like that goes back to the days when Kreider was
Oh my God.
running over goaltenders
He
on
got tripped.
purpose.
He got tripped. There's no other way. Like you literally see, I don't remember who it was, and he fell.
Yemelin,
Yeah,
Alexis
Yemelin
Yemelin.
tripped him, and he lost his balance and fell. That is not his
Yeah,
fault. I
yeah,
the
and he
audacity.
was on a breakaway too. Like that's the best opportunity you'll ever have to score. Why would he trip himself into the goaltender?
Exactly,
Yeah,
and
it didn't make much sense.
he should have gotten a like penalty shot out of it.
Yeah, he got tripped.
Okay, but yeah, and then Laffy got scratched on my birthday. It was so great.
Oh,
I'm sitting at brunch with my family on my birthday, and my dad. I get the news, and I'm like, oh my God, I came all this way just to see him play on my birthday and try and make a sign for him on my birthday. And I'm going to be seeing him in the press box. And
Oh
I
my
did. I
God.
did see him in the press box.
So that was before you took the picture with him?
That was after.
So you took
And
the picture with him, and then they said he was scratched.
yes. Um,
Wow.
but he was in a really bad mood when I met him. Like, he wasn't mean to
Oh.
me by any means. Like, he was not mean. He was civil. He was polite. But you could just tell he was in a terrible mood. And I was like, now I know why. But speaking of them, I was with my mom because we went to like the Starbucks down the street from my hotel because the one at my hotel wasn't going to give me my free birthday rewards. I was like, I want my free birthday rewards. So we go and we're walking back, and once again, and we're doing laps because the Canadians had played the night before, and they did happen to stay in the hotel that connects with mine. Like the two Marriott hotels connect with each other by like a bridge. So I was like, and my mom saw Michael Pizzetta and Justin Barron, I think his name is, like on her run, just walking to like morning practice. So I was like, maybe we can catch the Rangers. Like maybe they're staying in the same place. So we did a lap. Didn't see anyone. We were on our second lap, and then I see Chris Kreider walk out of this like really swanky hotel, and I was like, oh yeah, that's where they're staying. My dad was like, oh, it would make no sense because the arena's right there. Why would they stay down the street? I was like, because they're the Rangers. Like, you just know. And I see Chris Kreider walk out, and I go, excuse my French, my mom, I go, holy shit, that's Chris Kreider. And my mom goes, how do you know? What do you mean, how do you know? It's a 6-foot man with sunglasses with hair and like just
The
he
goatee.
looks like Chris Kreider. Like
Goatee.
literally Chris Kreider. So I like tried to sprint after him without, making it obvious because one, that's creepy, like just running after a guy, and two, like I tried to be calm. There was literally an NHL player 20 feet away from me. So my mom goes, Chris, like trying to call out to him, and he didn't hear us. So I was like, dang it. And we walked past this because we were on our second lap, and I was like, we can't go back around because these security guards will think like we're creeps. So we cut back around. I was like, but if they're coming out of there, I might as well, go see what's going on. So we go over, and there are a bunch of fans waiting, and I was like, oh, this is where they're staying. But like I wasn't waiting right by the doors because like that's weird. I just kind of waited with everyone else. And then some of the players walked out. The first person to walk out was Philip Hedl. And he came over, he started signing some stuff, and then I asked him to get a picture, and I was like shaking because like he's Philip Hedl. And I was like, hi, it's my birthday. Like, would you mind getting a quick picture with me? And he was like, yeah, sure. And then he smiled for the picture. And I was like, I got one. Like, it's okay if I get none others. Like, I got one. But I started talking to the security guard, and I told him how much I love Laugh, and he was like, "Oh, don't worry, he'll come out." I was like, "Okay, great." The next people to walk out were, I think, Adam Fox and Barclay Goodrow, if I'm not mistaken. No, it was just Fox. And Fox, he like just kind of glanced at the fans and then walked across. I was like, "Come on, dude!" Like,
I know. Yeah. Some of those
I'm
guys.
not very good with the fans. And then Jacob Trouba and Barclay Goodrow came out, and they too like kind of looked at us and then kept walking. And my mom was like, "Some captain he is." I was like, "Yeah, but it's okay." And Kraftshoff did the same thing. He bolted across there. I was like, "Okay, you don't have to rub it in." And then the other player that surprisingly didn't do anything was Panarin, but that's okay because he signed my jersey now, so we're all good. But he like walked around us. Like he was gonna come over, and then at the last second he changed his mind and like walked around us and around. So I was like, okay, like I was a little butthurt over that, but then again,
There was a lot of Rangers fans there, though, right?
there were like a good 15, like
Okay.
in all. Like it wasn't crazy. And then Trocheck came out. He was nice enough. Like he doesn't really look happy in the picture. He's just kind of, but it's okay. Like it's a picture's a picture. And then Braden Schneider came out, and I was literally in the middle of talking to him. I was like, "Hey, it's my birthday. Would you mind getting? I'm a fan. Would you mind getting a quick picture?" This dude shoves a puck and a Sharpie in his face, and as I'm in the middle of talking to him, and I was like, "No, you go." And Braden literally looked at me. He went. I was like, "It's okay, go." And then after he signed the dude's
I would have been like, yeah, come on, let's take the picture.
in after he signed the dude's puck, he like made everyone wait so he could take a picture with me, and then kept signing everything. I was like,
Yeah.
thank you. But like he literally looked at me though, because this dude was like, sign this, and he was like, I was like, yeah, what can you do? And then Igor came out, and I was freaking out because it's Igor Shesterkin. And I was like, do I ask him? Because he's Russian and he just looked in a bad mood. I was like, I don't want to bother him. And the security guard was like, he'll sign something. He won't sign anything, but he'll take a picture with you, like if you ask him. And since today's your birthday, his birthday's tomorrow, you guys are almost birthday buddies. He'll do it. And he uttered one word to me, and it was so quiet. I was like, hey, Igor, like today's my birthday. Would you mind getting a picture? And he goes, sure. It's like, okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. And he smiled for the picture ish and then walked across. He like didn't sign anything, and like it was only me and like one other person that he took a picture with, and for that I was grateful. And then out came Mika, and I was waiting for Mika, and then out comes a group of Keandre Miller, Ryan Lindgren, Capo Caco, Jimmy Vesey, Sammy Blay, and Alexis Lafrenière. And the security guard noticed it, and he looks at me and he goes, now's your chance, kid. Because they weren't coming over. They were walking across. So I bolted across the street. I didn't even care if I was going to get hit by a car. I needed this. Like, this is why I came. Like, I needed this laugh picture. And I felt bad because these two little boys, like, near me, they were on a bench. They, like, stood up to try and get a picture with, I think, Laugh. And Sammy Blay grabbed his arm and, like, tried to push it, like, pull him along. And, like, he kind of, like, started shoving him out of the way. And I felt really bad. You know, I was like, these poor kids, like, Sammy, what are you doing? But it was either Lindgren or Capo who leaned in, like, for the picture with them. And obviously I wanted to get a picture with all of them, but, like, I had one pick. And my
Sammy
pick
Blay was pulling whose arm?
Laughing.
Oh,
Laugh was gonna like turn in for the picture, and he kind of like grabbed his shoulder and started pushing him along. And my mom goes, "Laugh," because I was too like starstruck to say
yeah,
anything.
yeah. No,
And
I got it.
he
Yeah.
like looked at me, and mom goes, "I was like, it's my birthday, and would you mind getting a quick picture?" And my mom goes, "You're her favorite." And like even in his bad mood, he gave like a half-ass smile. He was like, "Yeah, sure." And he comes over and he takes the picture with me. His like the other ones, you know, like nicely put their arm around me. Besides Igor, but Laugh just two arms in front, you know, straight down, one holding the coffee cup and just one at his side. I was like, okay, but I, you know, kind of put my arm around him. I was like, and then after the my mom gave me back my phone, I was like, thank you, and I like was shaking. But then Mika walked by me. I was like, Mika, and he took a picture of me. He's actually the only one who wished me a happy birthday.
Yeah,
But
he's a really I've heard he's a really down to earth guy.
yeah, my mom said it's my birthday, and she was, you've probably heard the same sentence so many times, but Mika was like, oh my gosh, happy birthday, you know, are you coming to the game later? I was like, yeah, I am. He's, oh nice, like, we'll see you later then. I was like, I love you. And I got a picture. Mika, he looks happy. He looks happy. The other ones, they're like, and Braden looks happy, but other than that, the rest of them just kind of look.
Who
But
knows? Maybe they.
okay.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, that was the day of the game, right?
Yeah, they got
And
bag skated the
that
night
was New
before.
Year's Day.
It
So,
was December 29th.
oh,
They got bag skated the night before. I think that's why.
I was gonna say if it was New Year's Day and oh, okay, okay, that was the Tampa game.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
right,
then
right,
I
right,
went
right, right,
when
right,
it was in the shootout.
right, right.
When Brandon Hagel took the puck and threw it in the net, and he
Yeah, he grabbed it with his hand and threw it
yeah,
in
I was
and
like,
pretended
"What
like
are
nothing
you
happened.
doing? You can't do that." I watched that, and I was like, and then I saw
As
last
soon as
night
I saw the replay, I just started laughing.
I
Like
saw
watch Toronto say it's a good goal now.
I was expecting it. I saw the because I was in the 300s, kind of like the back of the 300s, and I saw the press box, and I saw Laugh, and he just looked so unhappy, and I was like, and I saw Sammy Blay skating around. I was like, get off right
Yeah.
now, get off. Like
Yeah.
I will play. I know how to skate. I'll play. I'll do it for free as
So
long as
you went to the game against
the Lightning.
the
Yeah, and
Lightning, the
I
Lightning.
went home the next day, so I
Yeah.
didn't go to the
I was
Panthers.
gonna say, like, maybe if it was the game against the Panthers and they were acting all like that, maybe they got, like, drunk at the Halloween, the New Year's Eve party or something.
I don't
But
know.
that makes sense, though, because they got bag skated, you know?
They did get bag skated in a
You
cold
shouldn't be
traffic
you shouldn't
on
have
train.
a piss poor attitude, like, you know? But, like, it is overwhelming. I'm sure they would be a lot more reciprocating if it was in New York. I
Yeah,
know Zibanejad is a really good, like,
he's a
humble
good guy
person. I've heard Chris Kreider just kinda, like, walks past everybody or whatever.
sometimes, but then the day after my birthday, I was, like, in the airport waiting for my flight. There was a picture of him with 2 kids, and like he genuinely looked happy. I was like, oh, that's so cute. Like I feel like he would have stopped for me because like when we were passing again, he kind of looks back and was like, I was like, okay, hi, I'm not here. I'm not here. You don't see me because we were walking past him as he was like already in the Tampa gate because I tried to catch up with him, but I was like, you don't see me. No, you don't see me. I'm not here. I don't know you because I didn't want to freak him out, so I just started talking to my mom.
I also feel like with any other sport, the athletes, you wouldn't have like a single one that would stop, and so it would be a handful within that league. The NHL, it's almost like a handful per team are like that.
Yeah,
Like they will stop and sign autographs. Like Mika's like
that's
I
why
said, he's
hockey
a down
players
to
are the
earth
best.
guy. Braden Schneider sounds like he's a really really good
He's so
dude.
yeah, he's Panarin, and then when he at the open practice, because I got my jersey signed by him after the open practice, he went down both sides of like, where everyone waits to get their stuff signed. He went
Yeah,
down the entirety of both sides and signed every single person's stuff that
in
he
the
could.
arena.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm sorry, guys, I cannot sign for everyone in his thick Russian accent. But I
Oh,
made sure that before I got my jersey signed, that this little girl got her puck signed because
good,
she wanted
nice,
her puck signed. I was like,
nice.
Brad, get her. And then
Mhm.
I tried to get him to sign the back of my jersey, but it wasn't working. So he just grabbed my sleeve. I was like, take it. And then his Sharpie stopped working. So there's just a line of where he tried to sign it. And then I gave him another one because his stopped working and I had one. So I gave him
Ah,
mine and he signed it for me. I was like,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah, yeah,
He was so
yeah.
cute, and then, like, he waved to everyone and then, like, walked out because he walks, and I was like, "You were just." I love him, he's just the best.
Yeah, he's a good player to have around on the
Good egg.
Rangers, like for the locker room, and I always see him like throwing sticks or whatever pucks to people like before games and
You
stuff.
I feel like the easiest way to get something from Panarin is offer a treat to Mr. Rizzy.
I
As
know
soon as
his
you get
dog is
Mr. Rizzy involved,
adorable.
he's as soon as you get Mr. Rizzy involved, he's involved.
I would just show like literally memes. Like I would print out memes. Like if I were a fan there, I would just hold like instead of putting like sign this puck on the billboard on the poster, I would copy the Laffy Taffy meme on there and just hold it up.
Just wait for it.
Do you ever see the tweet from Nick, the "I'm always dominant"? You remember that? Like when Panarin first signed with the Rangers, he posted something on Twitter, and then King Rangers Nico, he commented like, "How dominant are you gonna be this year?" And Panarin responded, "I'm always dominant," but like the way he spelled it was DOMINAT. Like he spelled it
Oh,
wrong.
yeah,
So, like, I have that picture printed out. It's in my wallet somewhere.
I
Like, I
love
have it
that.
printed out.
My
It's
favorite
like
thing
a good
ever is
luck
when
charm.
My favorite thing ever is when people respond with the videos of him laughing on that one New Year's, like, 2 years ago when he's absolutely hammered, and he's like he says whatever he says in Russian and then puts a fist to the camera and he ends it with a I was like, "That's my favorite. That's my favorite."
I love the Jacob.
Jacob, Jacob,
Congratulations,
congratulations,
buddy.
buddy.
Like,
I I
someone printed
can't
was that
believe
Blue York that printed out a shirt with, like with him, like
probably. They
I
have
for
really cool stuff.
yeah.
My
Yeah,
favorite
I
is
was seeing they have, like they sell that stuff at the Garden now. I was
do
looking
they
when I went there.
actually?
Yeah, there
I
was
have to get
shirts there.
one. My favorite thing is when he goes in the thing, "I still think I'm better choice." It's like,
I
"You said
still think
no. I still think I'm better choice."
yeah. Even though he said he doesn't wanna be the captain,
E
I
and
still
even
think I'm
though
better.
he pretends not to know English.
Yeah.
Same thing with Igor when he pretends like in Revo's Halloween video when he goes, "I don't speak English." And Revo was like, "I don't speak English." "Yes, you do." Like,
Yeah, it's a comfortability thing with
yeah,
Panarin, like, he knows that, like, he speaks it well enough, like, Gorton said that he speaks, like, completely fluent English, but it's just
they
when
know
you're
a
in
lot
front of
more
the camera, it's, like, a
yeah,
lot of pressure, you get nervous, like, you don't wanna mess anything up.
yeah, they know a lot more English than they let on,
Yeah,
both of
yeah.
them.
No, I understand it, like, we were talking about
Yeah.
languages before, like, I know a good bit of Spanish, and you've probably heard me speak if you listen to the show, like, all the time about the damn pizzeria that I work at, like, I try and speak Spanish all the time,
My
and,
dad can hold a
sometimes, like, when customers
conversation.
come in, I get a little shy.
My dad can hold a conversation in
Right.
Spanish. Me, the only thing I got is no hablo español.
Like, I get,
That's all I
like,
got.
short little commands, like, to like say like, oh, like you need something to eat or whatever, need something to
Yeah,
drink, like how much, like they need anything else. Some simple stuff, nothing
yeah.
crazy. Like I can't hold a conversation. Like that's crazy for me.
My dad can
That's
hold a
crazy.
conversation, and
Yeah.
we do not have, like, a single ounce of Latin blood in our bodies, but we
Yeah.
can hold a conversation.
Yeah.
I'm just like all of Europe, but still, and even though I'm an eighth Italian, I can't speak Italian. I'm over half German. I cannot speak a single word of German.
All the guys like on the Rangers speak like really good English. Like they communicate well together. Like the we gotta get talk about the grown up line. I call them the grown up line. Everybody calls them the kid line.
Kid
It's
line.
Lafrenière, Kako, and Hedel. Those guys are killing it. Ever since
I love
Gallant put them
them.
back together, it just always seems like whenever they are together, they make something happen every single time they're
Yeah.
on the ice, and everybody else stops making stuff happen.
Yes, and, like, you can only focus on them, and yet Gallant
Right.
still puts them on the 3rd line.
Right, like, they can't coexist together, like, Panarin and Zibanejad lighting it up can't happen at the same time as Kakko, Chytil, and Lafreniere
It's
playing
one or
well.
it's one or the other.
It's one or the other, and that's what I think if the Rangers can make it so that it coexists, then they are a cup contender.
And then we get a forward like Timo Meyer or Vladimir Tarasenko, then I think we're talking.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think, I said it
I
on
miss
last
David
week.
Pop though, and
What's
Frank
that?
Vatrano. I miss
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, the jury should handle this deadline the exact same way as he did last year. Like, don't give up way too much. Like, don't trade. I wouldn't trade. Larry Brooks was talking about like Tanner Jeannot and was saying hypothesizing Vitaly Kravtsov for Jeannot. I think Kravtsov's gonna get traded, but just not for Tanner Jeannot. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
think
that's
he's gonna be my personal opinion based on what I've heard and based on just, like, my personal opinion and, like, learning about hockey, I think he's gonna be part of a package for a big forward. I
Kravtsov.
hate to say it, it's gonna be him, probably someone from Hartford, and a pick for a big player like Tarasenko or Timo
That's what I think.
Meyer
That's what I would do.
or Patrick Kane if we go there, but Drury's gotta know at this point. The entire league knows that he needs hip surgery.
Yeah, and he's not having the best year. I think the Rangers need a shooter above all else. Like if they had Gabrick, like Gabrick when he was playing on the Rangers, like in 2010 on this team, we're set. We're perfect. That's it. Don't even
Yeah,
worry about the bottom six.
a healthy
We figure it out.
Eagle, a healthy Halak.
Yeah,
Halak's been great.
maybe one defenseman, maybe a defenseman that's better than Harper. But
I like Ben Harper, especially
I
after what
don't
he
mind
did
him
for
either.
Laugh, like, gave him the hat after he came back. Like, I have a lot of respect for Ben Harper after that.
Yeah, like a lot of people, you'll see a lot of people on Twitter say like, "Oh, the Rangers could get like they could improve significantly in this area." Well, like it's not. I see like that's in the analytics community. Like, you ever see that meme where it's just like the flying cars and it's like if society was like
Oh, yeah.
this?
Yeah.
That's what the analytics community is a lot
Yeah.
like. Like
If
I've
society
spent a lot of time trying to understand the analytics. I respect it. I use them a lot now, but like not every single thing is going to be perfect. It's just not
Yeah,
going to happen. Chris Drury's going to have to save salary somewhere. Like I
yeah.
understand there are players out there that are cheaper and good analytically, but then at some point they're going to prove their worth and they're going to ask for a lot of money. So they're not going to be able to
Like
hold on
Philip
to them
Chytil
for that.
now.
Like
Philip Chytil's gonna want a lot of money, especially after seeing what Matt Boldy just got. He's gonna and the way he's producing right now, he's gonna want a lot of money.
like these Moneyball kind of players, like Megna, been hearing from San Jose, like that guy is good. Apparently, he's like really good. But like, don't you think like when his contract comes up that he's going to be asking for a lot more money? I
Yeah,
know he's got another year left, so maybe he should make a trade. I was thinking like Gavrikov, but Gavrikov's going to be a lot of money. Um,
and
Megna
because
is a good.
also it's a contract year for Miller, it's a contract year for Lafreniere, it's a contract year for Chytil. We gotta worry about signing our young core first and then
Yeah,
seeing what we can do with the leftover money.
that's why I'm saying like approach it the same way as last year. Like
Yeah,
you're gonna trade for these players, but everybody knows you're not gonna keep them. Like we knew Kopp wasn't gonna stay. It was
I
either
thought
Strom
Vatrano was
or
gonna stay.
what's that?
I thought Vatrano was gonna stay.
Yeah, it all depended on how much money he was asking for. See,
Yeah,
like, see
true.
what I mean? Like, he wasn't getting much ice time in Florida. He comes to the Rangers, he gets ice time, and he scores like 10, 15 goals, 10 to
Then ask
12 goals.
money. Then ask for money.
and then ask for money. Exactly. See what
Yeah.
I mean? Like not every player is going to be like that. You're not going to be able to keep everything. So you have to weigh like how much you're going to spend on those types of guys. Like, does it make sense to give Lafreniere for Patrick Kane? Absolutely not. I'm going to hang up the phone if you say like, yeah, our starting price is Lafreniere. If you start at Lafreniere,
Goodbye.
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 Bye.
Thank you.
Like, I would only call Chicago back if like Kane makes it publicly known, like I'm only going to play with Panarin. Then I would say like, oh, so Kane only wants to go to me. How would you feel if I give you Matthew Robertson in a third round pick?
And Krasov too, if you're feeling a
Yeah.
little, spontaneous.
All right.
But
Like
other than
you
that,
could
that's my
lowball the
offer.
offer, like because he's
That's my offer.
all right.
Yeah, but back to the kid line. I feel like honestly, I feel like Philip Heedle's like the ringleader because he not only is he the oldest, he seems like he's the craziest. And then I feel like Lafreniere, as the youngest of the kid line, gets influenced by Philip's like craziness, and then Kako's just the middle child who's like, "Oh my god, what is going on here?" Because I saw one, it's like I saw a thing on a meme on Twitter. It's like the kid line, and like these two ones on the side are going crazy, like one crazy, other crazy, and then the one in the middle is like, "Oh my god, that's Lafreniere, Heedle, and Kako." They're like Kako's just sitting there like, "Oh my god," and Lafreniere and Heedle are going nuts.
Right,
And
yeah, because he doesn't say too much, that one.
my
Rocco.
favorite thing is when Vince tweeted Philip joking with Lafreniere and Heedle. He's like, "You can't get rid of me." Oh my god, he's like, "You can't get rid of me." Like he's definitely the ringleader. Like they definitely like hang out, just the three of them, and
Yeah.
plan causing mayhem.
Heedle is like the best all around player on that line as of this year. Like he's
Yeah.
what I don't know what it is. It just works. They love playing together. They
They're
seem to play
so
well
cute
together.
together. I'm still waiting for a kid line hat pick. I'm waiting for it.
Oh, like
If
they
if
all each
Jess,
get the
I know Jess is the Rangers admin, like the person who runs the Rangers accounts. If Jess is ever listening to this, and then please, I'm begging you, get us a kids line hat pick immediately. Like that will just make my life. Like the one with Krasov and Lafreniere is good. I just need the other two in it. Just I
if
need.
you if you run socials on if you run the Rangers socials, also put in a good word for me with Steve Valiquette.
All right,
Yeah. So
that's
if you get him on the
funny.
podcast,
Yeah. Oh, Valley on the podcast would be good.
I know it's just it's so difficult to get the guys from MSG, like even for
The whole
guys even for
game crew: Hank, John, and Steve.
I had
I
Bill
would
Pito on.
and Bill Pito, MSG 150 on the podcast.
Bill Pito's great. He's awesome. Like he just wants to be part of Rangers Twitter. Like that's what he wants
Get
to
him
do.
on. We'll
I know.
welcome
I've
him.
had him on. I've had him on. Like he's a great guy. He loves
Mhm.
doing that stuff. He loves interacting with people.
That's
It's
so great.
it's
I
fun.
love that.
It's fun. Like and like for guys like Vince and Molly, they even have trouble sometimes getting in touch with like with like the higher ups. Like Chris Drury will only come down when it's a public, like when he
Yeah.
addresses the media. Like he will go to the media. Like
Or when he
he
wants to
can't
make
be reached
sure
for
that
comment. There's no way.
he comes down to address the media or to make sure that Lafreniere doesn't answer questions in French because he doesn't know what he's saying.
All right. Yeah, that was
It's
a
okay.
while ago. Yeah, I remember that
Answer
thing.
in Russian, but then again, he has a translator, so that makes
Mhm.
sense.
And then again, but again with the Russian thing, it's like a comfortability thing too. Like I
Yeah,
think
but
he.
Laf can speak good English, so
Oh yeah, he speaks really good English. Really good English.
I'm working on my French. I'm
Yeah,
working on my French.
yeah. Um,
Duolingo hasn't helped me as much as I thought it would.
and speaking of like reaching out for comment like with the Rangers, like Vince and Molly, who are, I mean, if you're a journalist or want to get into the sports field, like we're so lucky to have Vince and Molly. Like those guys
Yeah, they
and
interact
Colin
with
and
us
Colin.
too. They
What's that?
interact with us too. Like they
Oh
make
yeah,
sure we
yeah.
stay up to date as much as possible, with situations that happen like Friday. Like they make sure that we stay updated and we know what's going on, and like they're
Right.
always quick to help us.
There were people like saying like, "Oh, why doesn't Vince say anything? Like, why doesn't Molly say anything?" In the back of my head, I'm like, I already know they are. I already know they're asking. It's impossible to get a comment from. Like in some ways, the MSG is like, I love the Rangers to death, but like they are the equivalent of the Pentagon when asked to reach for comment. Like they don't let that stuff. they're very picky, choosy about that kind of stuff, and that's just how it is. And it's fine because like they keep things tight to the vest. They don't want anything leaking and stuff like that. But
I
when
get
you're
that.
presented with the situation on Friday, like you said, we'll talk a little bit about this. I don't usually comment on this because it's a tough situation. Like Mike Rupp was
Yeah.
talking about it a few weeks ago, like the Provorov situation. Like it could go a million different ways. Like there's 100 different ways it could go,
Yeah.
and like that's why I kind of stay away from it because I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I took the time to iron out my thoughts. But like
Yeah.
if you weren't aware, like the Rangers sent out an email early in January. It said they would be wearing pride jerseys and have stick tape during warmups for the game against the Vegas Golden Knights. Instead, they took the ice for warm-ups wearing their Lady Liberty reverse retro jerseys, but it
And
was
no.
also scheduled to be the final reverse retro night of the season. They had that Pride night scheduled for that day,
Yeah.
and there was no warning or statement in advance of in advance of not wearing the jersey. So
And no tape
basically,
on the
you
sticks.
walked you as if you were a fan that was at the game on Friday, like me. You looked on the ice and oh look, the Rangers are wearing their Liberties. Wear
And
the
where's the
wear the
tape
Pride
on
jerseys.
where's the tape on the sticks? Like,
Right.
and I mean, I can't really speak for the LGBTQ plus community because I'm not a part of it, but as someone who supports people who are a part of it, and as someone who has friends who are part of it, and knows people on Rangers Twitter who are a part of it, I can only imagine how disappointing it was to not only see them not take the ice and the jerseys that they use to, like, say that we're with you, but the fact that those jerseys and those sticks get donated to charities for young LGBTQ plus people who, to show them, like Luke Prokop, like hockey really is for everyone. And just the fact that they kind of went against like everything they say they stand for, and especially without another email updating it, like I just didn't think that was right. And I feel like it was because of the Provorov situation that it possibly could have happened because of the amount of backlash. And I know I don't want to speak poorly on James Dolan, but like I just think that with his whole like lawsuit thing that he has going on with a bunch of people, that he didn't want to face any more negative media, which is why I think it came from a management standpoint. But either way, either which way it happened, my opinion on it is that it's wrong because I know that the players didn't know that it wasn't going to happen, and that when they walked in and didn't see the jerseys, they were confused, which I don't
Yeah.
think is fair to them either because they didn't know.
Yeah, like it was a couple we don't know which players it was, but it was like a couple players that said like, yeah, we just walked in and we had no idea what was going on. It was just the Liberties were there. Um
Yeah, and I personally don't think that they provided them with the tape because from my personal standpoint, I definitely think bigger players such as Jacob Trouba, I think not only as our captain, but just the way he views things, like I think if there was tape available, he still would have put it on his stick. And I think Chris Kreider would have too, like, and Mika Zibanejad. Those are just some examples. But I think like if they had the tape provided to them, they would have done it regardless.
right, like that's what I'm saying. Like there's a lot of down to earth, humble hockey players that, they will do something without being told to do it. And that's the thing. That's what matters is, you're not being told, "Hey, Mika, you got to wear this jersey." Like Mika should know already. Like he's got to like, I'm doing this. Like
Yeah, and
I'll
like
grab the tape. So if it was out of their control, then it's out of their
which
control
I
and there's
think it
nothing they
was
can
out
do
of the
about it.
players' control. I think it has everything to do with
Right.
the higher ups.
Right. And it's not like okay, so the ceremonial puck drop was done by Andre Thomas, who's the co-chair of the NYC Pride organization. The anthem was sung by Michael James Scott, who's gay, and he did a
Who
really
absolutely
good
killed it, by
fab.
the way.
What's that?
Who absolutely killed it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He killed
MSG always gets like the best people to do those things, and he nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Everybody was so excited at the Garden. Like it was perfect.
I feel like
Literally
I've seen
perfect.
Aladdin on Broadway, and I feel like I've seen him be the
Yeah.
genie. But either way, whichever genie I saw, like they're just the genie in Aladdin on Broadway is just so flamboyant and so fun. Like you can't not love it.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
like you could just tell he was having fun doing it.
Right. He did a good job. But the damage had been done when fans found out none of the players were wearing the Pride jersey. So the Rangers lied. and marketed the jerseys and stick tape, which never made an appearance last Friday. Like, if you want like an actual like a really good opinion, read Vince's article or read Molly's
I
article.
did
Read
read
them
it. I
both.
did
Like,
read. Vince's article was very good.
yeah, like honestly, like I'm going to like echo his what he's saying. Like, it was a false advertisement. Like, from a business perspective, that's an ethical no. You can't do that. If your customers see you have a promotion going on, whether that's through an email or on the website, whatever it is, and you haven't taken it down or said it's going to change or it's no longer active, you have to honor that.
Yeah,
So people saw this email weeks ago. Come see the Rangers wear their pride themed jerseys and stick tape against the Vegas Golden Knights.
to
Buy your
support
ticket
Pride.
today.
To support Pride and show that hockey is for everyone, which
Right.
it is.
Right. So people bought tickets expecting to see that, and they
Especially for
didn't
the
get
team
that.
too, knowing what they would see beforehand.
Mhm. So many Rangers fans feel betrayed and are rightfully upset. So, in my opinion, a solution like in previous years, the Rangers have auctioned off the jerseys. Why not do it anyway this year? Like, even though they were never worn, just auction the
Or just
jerseys
donate
off,
money.
or why not make them available for purchase, but at a reduced price? We all know hockey jerseys are ridiculously expensive, especially from the Rangers store. It's
Yeah.
incredible. Like you lied to your customers, so you got to make it up somehow. You
Or
didn't
even if
say
you don't put
sorry.
jerseys for sale, I think that if anything, they should donate to charities. Like,
I know they're making a donation to like a center for LGBTQ plus homeless youths, but the
oh, okay.
problem concerns the jerseys. Like, you got to fix that, like that issue there. Like, the
Yeah.
Rangers let down their fans, plain and simple. Like, but I don't think you could say like the Rangers completely ignored Pride Night. Like, being there at the Garden, it was so beautiful outside. Like, I challenge any NHL team to make like their stadium look as nice as the Rangers did. Like, they had
I
the
just think rainbows are
the
pretty
3D
too.
light show. Like, they put the Rangers logo, like the icon on the ice with that three. I don't know how to describe it, but like they had the Pride logo on the ice. It was really nice, and the flags, like when they wave it, when the Rangers scored, it was the Pride version of the
Yeah, I
logo.
saw that.
Yeah, they
I
did.
like rainbows too, so I just always have found rainbows like just very like because seeing them in real life is they're just very like I don't know if this is the right way to use it, like enthralling. So like and just seeing like you just look like you can't see a rainbow and like not be happy, because I'm always like, oh, unicorns and rainbows and happiness when things aren't going like you associate rainbows with happiness. Like how could you not like rainbows? And I
Right,
just
like
over off. Sorry that a rainbow scares you.
right, like so you see the lights outside the Garden for anybody, like just walking through the city, not even going to the game. You see those lights at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. You see those lights, those colors, that symbol. Something important is going on, and for
Yeah,
that, like that's great. I don't know what other stadiums are able to do that with their stadium, but like that was nice, like how the Garden had that all situated.
yeah,
Um, I've seen people say online that the Rangers in the NHL are homophobic, but seemingly because they didn't wear the warm-up jersey, and it stems from Provorov too. Like, to me, it seems honestly, like it seems a bit ridiculous to say a person or a team or a whole league is homophobic because they didn't wear a jersey. I totally get the symbolism behind the
yeah,
pride jerseys. It means something to a lot of people. Totally understand that. You want to see everyone support the community. Like, I do too. I understand. But like, if you have to tell someone you to wear your symbol, then it isn't genuine. Like, I would want it to be genuine. Even though I'm not a member of that community, I would think that if someone wants to come to me, right? Like, wants to show it off. Like, let's say Zibanejad wants to do that. He's a down to earth guy. There are guys in the NHL that are like that, that will do that at the drop of a hat, out of the goodness of their heart. I truly believe that. And that's where I think the game needs to go to.
and I think a lot of people on the Rangers would do it too. Like I
Yeah.
genuinely, maybe I'm being naive, but I genuinely cannot see a single member on the Rangers being homophobic. Like I just can't.
Right.
And like I said, that's maybe me being naive because like not trying to throw Panarin or Igor under the bus. They probably, I do believe, are Russian Orthodox Christian, like Provorov, and
Mhm.
Provorov came out with his whole it's against my religion, but they've worn the jerseys in the past. They've done the tape without complaint, which makes me think that they're not. And maybe that is me being naive, but I just genuinely, with the
Mhm.
people that we have, don't see anybody being homophobic.
It brings
Makes
in
makes
the
me sad.
idea of
Yeah.
integrity. It's doing the right thing for the right reason, even when no one is looking, and that's the part
Yeah.
I emphasize, even when no one is looking. Like, I'd rather have someone wear the not wear the jersey, but do something on their own for the LGBTQ Q plus community, whether that's like a charity or hosting an event or spending time with people, than to wear the jersey but take it off after warmups and never wear it or think about the community again.
Yeah, I understand. Like, actions speak much louder than words.
Right. It's like that the Maya Angelou quote, people may forget what you say or do, but they won't forget how you make them feel.
Yeah.
So, wearing the jersey while for warm-ups, while it might seem like just symbolic, there might be, and this is what Vince was saying in his article, that there could be something deeper. Like, the players could be doing something more from their own hearts, not from
Yeah.
somebody else's heart. That's
Yeah.
what I want it to be. I wanna see genuine support of
Yeah.
of
But
of
it
the
was it was still
organization.
disappointing to not see the jerseys
I
because
know,
I just
and
I
it's
just think they're cool, and I know there's a different design every
yeah,
year. I was looking forward to seeing how they were looking, and when I saw that they posted a video of them walking out in the Liberty jerseys, I was with my friend who happens to be a part of the community, and I just started going off, and she was laughing because, like, she's never seen me angry before, and she thought it was funny that I was so angry, but was appreciative of how who and she happens to be a Rangers fan, and she was, like, appreciative of how just, like, annoyed I was because, like, that's genuinely annoying, and so many people bought tickets specifically for this game just to
right.
be let down like that.
Yeah, from a business perspective, they dropped the ball big time, and
Yeah,
that I have a problem with that. I don't
that could affect,
respect
like,
that.
the revenue of games from now on because, like, people might not wanna go to these special nights thinking that, especially Pride Night, 'cause I'm sure they'll do something for, like, a military appreciation night, and not that it's a bad thing, but saying in terms of Pride Night, it might affect their sales and their revenue and their income from Pride Night because of what they did this year, and people might not wanna take the risk going and seeing that again.
Right, from next year, so they have to mend the wound in that time, so
They have to
maybe
up their game.
rethink some things, like, again, with the jersey issue, it's just, if it's becoming a chore to do it, then try something else. I would say, honestly, because it's, if they want if a player is going to put on the jersey, but then not do anything about it, or like it's pulling teeth to put the jersey on, then it's not genuine.
Yeah,
Like, I would want it to be real.
yeah,
That's how
I
I
get
would feel. Like,
yeah, I understand that.
I don't know how the people in the community feel, but
Yeah,
um,
and I don't wanna speak for them either because, like,
yeah,
I genuinely am, like, the biggest supporter out there, and I want everyone to be happy, any group, like, you could be anything you wanna be, and I'll still, like, support you either way, and, like, I really do feel for them,
yeah, yeah.
and, like,
This
I
is
feel
it's
bad.
a like the
It's a tough thing to talk about, especially when you're not part of the community. Because, like, I don't wanna be saying the wrong thing and having people get offended, but, like, I'm trying to say it, like, the right way, but so people know that I do stand with them, if that makes sense.
accessibility is a big issue with hockey. Like, it's an upper class sport. It's very expensive. That's just how it's always been. It's not easy to like
Predominantly dominated by
I I had
rich
for my
people.
journalism class, I had to write a story about somebody, and this guy, he had to like literally travel like half hour, 45 minutes every day to go to practice because there was no rinks by where he lives.
Yeah,
That's how it's hard.
that's
It's
why I didn't
hard
play
for a
hockey.
lot of people. It's just, a lot of people say like, "Oh, just make it easier." Like,
Yeah,
it's just
like
not. It's like it's hard to do it. And
mhm,
sometimes I think it's just things that are outside people's control that it's like outside my control. Like, I can't do
yeah,
anything about it.
yeah, I'm
I
a
could
soccer
offer
player.
support and I could console people and
Yeah.
offer my opinions, but will people take me seriously? I don't know.
Yeah, and, like, I'm a soccer player, I've played soccer my whole life, and my dad wanted me to play hockey because there's not a lot of girls who play hockey, and I could skate, and he knew that if I played, they could have taught me how to skate even better, but on Long Island, like there aren't any rinks like in my county, and my mom didn't want to drive 30 minutes plus multiple times a week to play hockey with soccer too. So I never got to play hockey. So I get, that like some people can't play because of like where they live, how far it is, and also just how expensive the sport is with all the gear and the traveling.
Mm-hmm. I like this. I like this comment from Python. Sadly, you're gonna have to cancel all events like military night. I don't know about hockey fights cancer night
I
because
don't
that's
think
like
they would go
not hockey fights cancer night because that's been one that's been around for a while. It's more neutral that impacts everybody. Um, Military night I could see, but
Yeah, and
you
I
can't do the
wouldn't be
one,
mad with that either because if you do that to one group of people, you can just as easily do it to another group.
or maybe like the way you present like military night, like
Is like the same, make it fair.
make it the same. Yeah, so like if you're not gonna wear the jersey for one, don't wear it
Don't
for
wear the
that
jersey
one.
for the
Like
other.
do the same thing like with the outside of the garden, if you can, like the
The
indoor
red, white, and
stuff.
blue.
Like you put the logo, yeah, put the what do they do with the military logo? Do they like
I
put
think they
a
just put, like,
military
the
version of the
logo in
Rangers
the
logo?
back. Yeah, with, like, a green canvas.
Alright, yeah, so do the same thing on the ice, like project that onto the ice. Like there's the people that say like, "Oh, keep the politics out of sports." Like, yeah, I understand. But like historically, politics and sports are intertwined because of the Olympics. Like that's how it's been. But like for like issues such as like extreme issues such as this, it's like
Yeah.
I don't want to see it. Like I don't want to, it's a night. It's it. Support the community. Like I don't want to make it a huge deal. Like for military night, like it doesn't need to be.
The
I
big
don't even know.
say what you're gonna do and follow through with it. And if you don't, be ready to deal with the
Right.
consequences.
Apologize. Like make it up. Make it up. Like what I was saying about the jerseys. Just auction them off. Why not? Or make them
If they
available
even
for
made
purchase
them
and
because
everything.
who knows if they were even gonna do the jerseys
Hmm.
before this Provorov situation. Which I
Hmm.
think they probably would've, but so maybe they are manufactured and, give them away. Well, not give them away, like, auction them off or donate them to where people could profit off of them that would help the LGBTQ community in some type of way.
Hmm.
Same thing with the sticks. Take a stick, wrap some tape around it, auction it off.
Sign it and auction it off. Yeah.
Yeah. Takes you maybe all of 5 minutes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, these issues are I try not to talk about them just because it's too polarizing and my point of view might come across as like extreme in the one direction or like yours might go in extreme in the other direction
Yeah.
and people might have stuff to say, but like
I
I
just
don't
want
think
everyone to be happy, and, like, I really do feel bad about the way that
right.
everything was handled.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I still don't think the Rangers are homophobic, and I don't think the entire NHL has this vendetta against the LGBTQ plus community. I just don't think they wanted to wear the jersey. Like they could be in support of the community, but not want to wear the jersey just because they were told, "Oh, you must
think
wear this
I
jersey."
think the Provorov situation kinda flipped the whole thing, and now
Right.
everyone's looking at it differently.
Yeah.
It shouldn't
Yeah.
have happened because it's just colors. Well, it's just colors in the sense that, like, it's a rainbow, but, like, it's not just colors because because that came out very wrong, and I don't want, like, people to, like.
Symbolic.
Yes,
You're
they're
talking about
very
the
symbolic.
symbolism of the flag of
Yeah, like,
the
it
pride flag.
I'm saying, like, it's just colors because to him, he's like, "Oh, I don't wanna wear a rainbow because it's against," but, like, it's a rainbow, like, they're colors, like, they're colors shouldn't scare you, and
Mm,
they're colors of a community full of great people.
yeah.
So, I don't know what his whole deal was, but he, like, changed this entire everyone's entire perspective on
Yeah,
this.
it's possible it's on the players too. Like they like I think Python put another one in here. Like that this is possibly true, like Dolan's taking the bullet. But then again, I still think you should say about the jerseys, like auction them off, refund or give like a discount to the people that were most impacted. I don't know how you could do that, but like something to show that you're
You really do
listening.
care.
Right. Like,
Like,
it's not like
that's
they did not like I said, it's not like they did nothing with the night. Like, they lit up the outside of the garden. Like, if they didn't care, they wouldn't have done that at all. I don't think they would have done that at all. They wouldn't have had, Andre Thomas drop the puck, or Michael, oh my gosh, I have it, Michael James Scott sing the anthem. They wouldn't have done, they would have done none of it. None of the stuff that I said if they didn't care about it.
Yeah.
So,
I
you
just feel
know,
bad because I feel like the "It's Just Colors" thing came out wrong, but, like, I meant, like, for in
oh
terms of
no, I understand what you mean. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like, because he was all like, "The rainbow," it's like, they're colors. They're they're colors, you wear colors every day. I'm sure you've worn at least every color in the rainbow at some point in your life, like,
Hmm.
why now should it matter?
Hmm.
That's really what I meant by it, but so,
Yeah.
if anyone, like, took that the wrong way, I
This
really hope not.
it
It's
was
just
it's his
hard to,
it
like
was his belief, like he's not in support of, I guess,
yeah,
wearing the jersey,
he
but like,
everyone's entitled to their own opinion,
right.
but that opinion is just I'm sorry, that's just plain wrong. Like, not supporting a group of people because of, like, colors and, like, you don't wanna wear a jersey, like, come on, grow up. You're making millions of dollars a year. The least you can do, even if you don't agree with it, is 1, keep it to yourself, and 2, put on the jersey with everyone else to support the fans who are part of the community who come to watch you play and are spending their money to watch you play.
Hmm. Yep.
It's
Yep.
I feel like is there anything else? Sorry, this, like, topic is
No.
because I don't wanna make it, like,
Yeah, no, no.
such a bad
I don't have anything else to add on. Like, maybe people could let me
like
know
a
what
bad
they think.
topic
And
to talk about, I feel
yeah,
like.
it is. It sucks, to be honest. Like the polarization
Yeah,
of
it's a
it.
topic that needs to be talked about, but it's not a comfortable one, especially coming from someone who wants to say the right thing without, like, making it because I can't speak for anyone who's in the because I'm not a part of it, so I don't know the correct like, I'm trying to say the correct thing
Hmm.
and, like, speak with my opinion, which is in full support of them, but, like, trying to also make it so that I'm not taken the wrong way.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
yeah. I think I'm going
It's
to a
all up.
special night on I have to say, I think I'm going to some special night on the 8th. I
Hmm.
don't know, Rangers special nights, I'm gonna Google this. Rangers special nights and see what because I know group sales and theme nights. Here we go. Oh, I'm going to Black History Night on February 8th. So, hopefully that they will do a lot better job with that, making the Black community feel seen and heard because I don't think that they did a very good job with Pride Night, making people feel seen and heard.
So yeah, they're gonna, take a look at their methods and see if they could do better.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think they
the
can. There's
biggest
always
the
room for
biggest thing
improvement.
is the fans feel betrayed because they said they were gonna wear the jerseys, but they didn't
Yeah,
wear
and
the
they did it.
jerseys. And that's, that problem can be solved. Like, I think that's a very solvable problem. Just, it's
Yeah.
all about accountability. Just say, like, listen, we screwed up. We want to make it up, and this is what we're gonna do. Next year, we'll do something different for Pride Night because
Yeah.
obviously the players, there's something with the jerseys that people, it's not reciprocating, and that communication between team to community is not seamless. Like, it needs to
Yeah.
be genuine. Like,
This is the
don't make it be a PR stunt. Like,
Yeah, no. This is the last thing I'll add. I think the way to fix the problem from this year is wear the jersey next year. Like, who cares what any other team does? Wear the jersey, but let somebody from the community design it because then it's personal. And I feel like that could be a way to make up for it because I feel like now it's just kind of like the PR team, just throw a rainbow in wherever you can, which isn't really a good way to go about it. But if you let someone from the community, who's an artist, design the jerseys, or you get a bunch of people from all different like umbrellas of the community come together to design one jersey, I
mhm,
think that could be something that could make up for it. That the
mhm,
players wear like a customized, like designed, made with like a lot of love and dedication jersey. That I feel like that could be a great way to solve it.
mhm. Right.
I would love to see that, honestly. I think that could be really cool, and, like, each number, like, could have maybe one could have, like, the bisexual flag, like, someone could wear the bisexual flag on their back, like, their number, or the transgender flag, and the gay flag, and the whatever other umbrellas there are, like, I think that could definitely, because it's personal then, and everyone feels seen and heard.
If I had to make a guess, I think it's just gonna go to what Python was saying, that it's just gonna be nothing. Like, no military night, no pride night, no hockey fights cancer night, none of it. Nothing. Because everything's gonna be equal. I
Yeah,
think
that's
that's what's gonna
sad,
happen.
though.
I know. It's but I just think that's the way it'll go. So that
It's all right. Well, it's
right,
not
like
all right, but
at least it's consistent.
yeah, like in turn, like it's all like I feel like I'm always saying the wrong thing because I don't want to like dismiss it because, but like I'm saying like it's all right because like then at least everything will be equal. Like if you don't want to do something for
Oh, right,
somebody, then you shouldn't do
exactly,
it for the other people. Like
right,
that's what's all right about it. Not that
I,
it's all right that they didn't do anything.
right. Like I would appreciate like less political messaging
Yeah,
in my
I feel
sports.
like
Like
I'm turning.
I don't want to look at it. Like it's just I understand it belong like sports and politics are together, like they coexist, but like I don't want to see some of that stuff on here. Like I just want to watch the Rangers game and enjoy myself for 2 hours and
Like
then like
it
go
makes
back to
you
the
enjoy you
for the
do it.
rest of the 22 hours that I'm awake or whatever however long I'm up for. Worry about it then. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
understand where a lot of people are like keep it out of sports, keep it out of sports. Yeah, I do understand that, but keep it all out. Like don't put anything in there. Like
I
that's
get
why I'm
that.
saying keep military night out of it too.
Yeah, because then that,
Right.
but it's just it's hard because you're offending one group and then you offend the other, but then you don't offend.
Right.
It's just a bad like situation that they put themselves in.
Right. They gotta somebody's gonna have to put their foot
Yeah,
down
I'll
and
end it at that. Like it's a
right.
bad situation to put themselves in, and I feel like I hopefully said the right thing because like I don't want to make anyone offended at all.
No,
Like,
I don't think you offended anybody.
but
No,
like
no.
I'll end it at they handled it very poorly, and I hope to see them do better in the future.
Yep. Yeah.
But like
I agree with you. I think they have there's a lot of room for improvement there. That's what I'll
yeah,
say.
totally. And last thing that I'm gonna do before I go, because I have an honor society induction tonight, is what do you think the
Nice.
Rangers are gonna do trade deadline?
Trade deadline. If I had to make a guess, then I think that they're gonna make a trade for like Tarasenko. That's gonna be one of the big things that they gotta have to make a trade for Meyer, Kane, or Tarasenko. One of those guys is gonna be in a Rangers jersey post deadline. What I would like to see Gustav Nyquist in a Rangers jersey because that
Is
guy
he
is
a
like,
center?
what's that?
Is he a center?
I think he could play center, but he's a winger. Actually,
Oh, we
he's
need
a winger,
wingers,
right?
right wingers.
Yes, yes. I was looking at natural stat trick. He could play left. They said center, left, and right, so
Oh,
he could
perfect.
play all over.
Throw him
Right.
at forward, wherever. My
He's
thing is
fast.
he's
He's
over.
always before he hit Columbus, like analytics were great. Everything was above 50%. Like gets a lot of chances, lots of shot opportunities when he's on the ice. Teams do better when he's on the ice than when he's off the ice. That's the
That's
player you
good.
want. Yeah. So
That's
like having him on like a third or fourth line is good. Like we need fast skaters. We need fast skaters. We need
I'm
speed.
dreaming about a cup. I'm taking Messier up on his thing when he said, I think after the 2021 season, that a cup is in our future in the next 5 years, and he guaranteed it. He guaranteed Game 6, and they won. So I'm expecting this cup. Like that's literally all I want. 2014 like ruined me. 2014 ruined me. It ruined me. And like
Yeah.
this team, last year's team was my favorite team since 2014 and
I think a
2014.
lot of people have the same
14,
feel the same
15,
way.
and 13, 14 are because I wasn't alive for 93, 94. So 14, 15, and 13, 14 are my favorite Ranger teams. And last year's team, just the vibes that you got in April, like just knowing you're like, yes, there's a Ranger game tonight because you just knew they were going to play well. And then when the playoffs came around and when they were tied after they beat Pittsburgh, I was like, yes, I can work with this. The problem is they played the Canes, and the Canes are actually my second team because they're my family's team. It's either the Canes or the Islanders, and I'm not picking the Islanders.
Yeah,
So
no, don't pick the Islanders.
I'll root for the Canes over the Islanders, which is what I do from time to time. But
They got a good
if they're
team over
playing the
there.
Rangers, if they're not playing the Rangers, I know they're a rival, and I get a lot of crap for it. But like, I want to see my family happy, so I root for them to do well. Plus, I love Andrei Svechnikov, so I root for the Canes when I can. When they swept the Isles in the playoffs, that was the best thing ever. I literally got the broom out of my basement and started going around with it. My mom was not happy, but I thought it was great. So
Svechnikov's a pest. That guy is
I love
he's a
him.
great player.
I
He's
love
annoying
him.
to play against, but he's a great player.
He's
He's so good.
and Sebastian Aho, my God.
I
That
know, like
overtime
that's
goal,
a really good team, and I love Brind'Amour. Brind'Amour's a great coach.
God, the
I was
God.
hoping the Canes wouldn't sign him and that the Rangers would pick him up. That obviously was not going to
Yeah.
happen.
I
But
want Bruce Boudreau low-key.
Bruce
I think
Boudreau, really?
I think he would be a good like you can tell he loves what he does. And I just feel like the way Vancouver handled him was not great. And I think he'd be good in New York.
Rangers would need like a guy like John Cooper. Like they need to
Oh
build up
yeah.
a coach. Like if the guy from AHL Hartford, oh
Chris
my God,
Knobloch?
Chris Knobloch. Like if he becomes a good coach, like develop him from like the ground up. Like John Cooper won at every single level. He won the AHL, he won the juniors, he won I think he won the World Cup of hockey. He won the Stanley Cup. Like he won everywhere in college, baby. Like
I mean,
that's what I want. I want that in the future. Like
I
if we
will
get a guy like
say
that, that's gonna be awesome.
I will say that Chris Knobloch's first game as coach when Quinn went into COVID protocol, we did beat the Flyers 9-0.
Yeah. I remember that.
That did happen. And then my dad made fun of me because there were like so many Rangers that got a point and Laugh got a secondary assist out of 9 goals scored. He got 1 secondary assist, and my dad made fun of me. But he does like Laugh. He's a Laugh fan. He just gives him
Picks on him.
He just picks on him and is honest with him more than I am because I just don't like to be. But
Yeah. No, I try to be. It's hard. It's hard when you have favorites. It's hard to call them
yeah,
out. Like I love
especially
Julian Gauthier. Like Gauthier is probably my
I've
favorite,
grown to love him too.
but like I have a bit of a harder time calling him out than I do like Zibanejad or
Yeah.
Kreider.
And in my eyes, Igor can do no wrong. So I never call Igor out. Igor can do no wrong, except when he almost gave the puck away and like fanned on a pass. But otherwise, Igor can do no wrong in my eyes. He's the best.
Yeah, good goaltender. All right, Carlie, appreciated having you on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
One day we have to get Mark on here with us.
That sounds good. I got to talk to him about his thoughts on the Liberty jerseys.
Mark, he hates them. He hates them. Always has. But I will say he was at the Marek Malik game when he went between the legs in the shootout. So that's his only saving grace with the Liberties.
Yeah, that's the best version of the Liberties too.
I like the reverse retro 1.0. Those
really?
a
lot of people.
I'm trying to get an Igor one, but they're like $500, and I really don't feel like dying. So
we could have a whole podcast just on like the best jerseys the Rangers have had, or like just
my
on
dad
jerseys.
Would do that. If you ever want to, my dad would do that. So.
That would be a good summer episode because sometimes during the summer there's not a lot to talk about, especially like when it comes to August. If I don't have a guest, definitely got to have like an episode just talking about Rangers jerseys.
Totally, because I have my opinions on them too.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
No problem. Ice Cold Takes listeners, take it easy. We'll see you guys next week.